Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump in the action, don't forget like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting our community a little bit further, consider becoming a member here on our YouTube channel. Memberships start at just $2 a month, and you gain access to some really cool emotes. Lastly, if you're interested in joining any of our games, we currently have open slots available in the Tuesday early game, so be sure to reach out and let me know. Without further ado, go ahead. Tell us what happened last time, Bart.
So, last we left off, we began the session with the party members, I believe, coming back into contact with Bart, who'd been off in a separate area of this testing ground, skill dungeon, torture chamber place, and they sort of reconnected with him and began working their way back through some of the trials. Something seemed a little bit off about him, but didn't seem to play out too much until they encountered a Marut, which was a terrifying thing to experience. Brought several party members down to some very, very low health. But we did eventually manage to overcome it. We also encountered some of the sort of game master type entity that has been pulling the strings of this situation that we found ourselves in. And I believe that, we interrogated them a little bit before the Marut encounter, and then after the Marut encounter, we spoke to them again, and they posited us with a task of determining who was the traitor in the group. Someone in the group was, acting against the others. We had to work out who. There'd been a couple of little hints laid down, and the group eventually pointed the finger at Bartikov, who made a run for it, but lost the initiative roll and was caught by Glenn, who swiftly just beat him to a pulp. As it turns out, monks are terrifying. The fake Bartikov was defeated. All of Bart's gear fell onto the ground as this false entity burst into a cloud of sparks and light, and the real Bart was found in a sort of side chamber pocket dimension, stripped naked, captured in this cylinder of force. They freed him and got his gear back. They found one of the telling signs that the fake was that the fake was using the lightning warhammer rather than the spear that Bart has been attuned to for so long, because they just couldn't replicate it. Bart pulls the spear out of his little pocket dimension. And I believe we left off with the sort of game master type entity talking to us and giving us the opportunity to ask it some questions about its role in the Belair Academy and everything sort of surrounding Glenn and Glenn's past.
That is correct. As this entity has offered to all of you, you see at the backside of this chamber a door opens up. Out of nowhere, appearing and drifting open. You watch as the adorable puppy dog walks back through once again. It sits down and looks up at all of you expectantly. So, what are your questions?
I know I got a few, but anybody else wanna ask this guy anything before I go? Because mine might take a bit.
This is all you.
Yeah, but I figured that we've all been going through this trial, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's curious about Buddy over here.
Why don't you start with your questions?
All right then.
I mean, for once, looking at him, you've been a bad dog. But continue, Glenn. It's all you.
It just blinks at you absentmindedly.
All right.
I said that and my dog immediately looked at me like he did something bad.
Yo, you're horrible for saying that in the presence of your dog.
I guess I guess I could just combine it into one question, but the first part of it would be when I asked you about where Glenn Strider went, you said he was chased away. Was he chased away by those druid people down in Sablehaven?
Yes, he was. While conducting his experimentations, some of the experiments had left, bringing back with them a sizable force that he was not prepared to defend against, as security was not fully rendered in yet.
So I think the rest of my group and I were kind of wondering, what was going on with those people too, because we can't really, so to speak, check the vibe of them. Right? We don't know if what they want is really good or bad. So I was wondering if we could get another perspective on that, see how badly Glenn Strider has been acting around here. Maybe trying to really figure out who's the bad guy here. You know.
I do not understand. What do you mean by bad? Do you mean inefficient?
Oh. Now that you put it, good and bad's kind of like subjective, right? Okay. Well, I mean, I'll put that one aside, because that's a whole nother, I can go into a whole nother thing. But, do you know where Glenn Strider?
Current whereabouts? Not precisely. General whereabouts? Yes.
That's good. Where what can you tell me about his general whereabouts?
He is most frequently seen interacting with various locations related to this location. Places of power that he has set up ways to transport himself to with ease.
Like teleportation?
That is correct.
Huh. So he's been going through to several places, huh? Let's see. Well, so I've been following this series of books. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. Called Echoes of the Shadow Vale, written by Glenn Strider himself.
I have never heard of these books before.
Well, lucky for you, I got Prime limited edition copies, and I'll pull out my set of books that I've gotten. This is all written by Glenn Strider, so you might take some interest in this. But there are a few places described in here that I can't quite figure out. But maybe you could help us locate something described as an arboreal enigma and a clockwork citadel.
One moment. Let me get that open because I did not have Echoes of the Shattered Veil open. Doo-doo-doo. Arboreal enigma literally refers to a mysterious... Oh, wait, let me go there because I don't want to show that on stream. Sorry. A mysterious or puzzling aspect related to trees or forests. Arboreal pertains to trees, while enigma refers to something mysterious or perplexing. So when combined, arboreal enigma suggests a puzzling or mysterious element within the context of trees, forests, or the natural world. It could be used to describe an unknown phenomenon, a hidden secret within a wooded area, or any perplexing aspects related to tree-covered landscapes. It doesn't have a name, Somdi. God.
Slight amendment to that statement. If anyone names this thing Webster, I'm killing someone.
Name it Google.
Hate you.
Hey, Britannica.
So, I mean, what you described there, is that someplace or an area that Glenn Strider would visit frequently?
Yes. There are multiple locations generally spoken of as, well, generally could be referred to as arboreal enigmas. For instance, this tree that you are standing inside of right now.
So this is that place then. Okay.
Perhaps. However, there is other locations that he has frequented within the past. Would you place those tomes on the ground so I may transfer their information to me?
I would get those toes back though, right?
Since you have requested specifically, yes.
Great, because I'm kind of like collecting them and I'm missing one more. So I'll put the tomes on the ground.
I heard toes. Give me them toes.
Give me your toes.
Them toes.
You said you're collecting toes?
No, that's the other game.
Sorry, what?
The other game Tim's in.
Somebody has one of my
Tim.
character's toes and won't give it up.
Tim?
What?
Hey, they're
The
supposed to be
fuck?
saving the universe.
I'm not the one with the toe collection.
The universe involves sacrifices. Your toes is one of them.
Yeah, actually, I think Donut would get along great with that group. I'm not gonna lie.
I swear to Christ, every game you run is a fucking failure.
Screw you! These are great successes. I let you have a cannon as your eldritch weapon. You can't bitch.
We're gonna
Alright.
go. We're gonna go die to the big bad guy of multiple campaigns shortly. So
Anyways, you place the books onto the ground, and you watch as this wave of arcane energy stretches across the floor and across the books. Intriguing. These are written in the format that would suggest young adults or adolescents with overly developed minds would be capable of entertaining themselves with these and passing by the time.
Yeah, they're great.
However, there's a lot of historical accuracies and inaccuracies littered throughout most of them.
What are the most inaccurate parts?
Well, firstly, the general consensus that good triumphs over evil. all of the books outline this in some capacity, and yet, based off of historical knowledge, that is not always accurate. Secondly, the good-hearted nature of all of the side characters in these tomes. From what I have learned from each of you, good-heartedness is not readily available amongst mortal kind. Seems to have been a simplified version to entertain the fragile of minds of historical events.
Well, it's out there, but it's called naivety, too.
You are looking for a realm beneath an enormous, sentient tree that towers over a vast forest.
That's this one.
I would have to presume this is the location you are referring to. However, I have no records of an Eleanor.
So maybe you're saying like that was just a completely made up character then?
Well, I mean, people can use fictional made up characters to make more entertaining stories. I mean, the name might mean something else. Is there like a project named Project Illinois that might have been done here? Like a name Illinois that's not a person that might be in your archives here.
Or an anagram? Anagram? Is that?
Yeah, like an anagram, or it could be like a name of something else, not a person.
Yeah.
Not within any of the information I house. However, anagram is a curious suggestion. Possibilities of what it could mean are nearly infinite.
Makes sense.
There has not been an Eleanor within the archives of this location that I'm able to sense or derive.
Stumped on that one then.
I had a question, but I need to find the name of those people that hang out around the tree.
Think you have it labeled under Sable Haven or something.
Yeah, the ones that we were warned about that hang out around the tree. That, you know, there's like a group of people that are out here. They chill out at the tree and they make a home around the tree, right? But they're like sketchy as per the Sable Haven people. So I'm trying to find the name of that group if it was ever given.
I don't
I have a
believe they
few
have a name for it.
questions,
Yes, of course.
if it's okay. Are you capable of lying?
The prospect of lying is something that I have not readily considered up until today, while I was testing all of you. It is an intriguing notion that I do not believe yields much results other than when you are attempting to have ulterior motives to what you would positively say to motivate an individual to follow a course of action. If you are asking, do I possess the capabilities of lying? Yes, I do. Though it is a strange concept to me.
Do you think that you've done it in the spirit of testing rather than malice? for the sake of our tests?
I do not possess the emotions that you are trying to associate with me. Malice is something you would feel towards an individual, and I do not feel anything other than curiosity. My intentions have never been out of malice, but out of experimentation and wanting further knowledge.
So you're saying you may not have ever misled us out of... Ooh, sorry, was that...
That was me.
Okay. You have not ever... You have not misled us through analysis for the sake of analysis and experimentation. You've only told us the truth and only given us the facts.
During the experimentation, I have misled you on specific occasions where it would suit motivating all of you to, well, serve my experiments.
Okay, all right.
As
That
far as
answered
this
my question.
conversation after the experimentation goes, I have had no reason to lie or mislead.
Okay. Do you serve another or just yourself?
To be in service of an individual would mean to be beholden to them and do as they instruct, correct?
Correct. I can also, let me rephrase. Do you collaborate with another?
Why, yes, I do.
Okay.
Glenn Strider. We have collaborated on many various experimentations and dealings.
So you say that you know... Okay. After reading through Echoes of the Shattered Veil, which you just read through, can you see how things might play out? Can you predict the end?
Oh, nice.
The end of what? This story?
The end of the story.
Well, the writing would suggest a union being created by the survivors of the Blaterra Academy incident. Them joining together and finding some true nature to whatever threat caused their academy to be catastrophically ruined. Triumph and success would be on the table for such a event, of course, as this is meant for young people. I believe it would outline perhaps not another hero of this adventure, but a returning one to bring everyone together. They were all moving towards a designated area, close, but not too terribly close, as two of these locations clearly are not of the same material realm as the others.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Those are great.
I got a couple. If
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. What's with that group that's outside your tree? Like, what's up with that? There's been a group, like an occult of people, right? That apparently has been seen just hanging outside your tree. Like, just what up with that?
certain survivors from recent experimentations conducted by Glenn Strider and myself have taken the opportunity to try to find a way back into this tree. They seem to have malicious intent, and I've been instructed by Glenn Strider to not accept them in unless they agree to experimentations once again, which is why my question to all of you was posed in such a manner. Outside of the tree, my awareness is very limited. Inside, nearly infinite. Only one of you has been evasive from my monitorings of your mental states.
Second question: was there a either half elf or full elf that you worked with that had these eyes? And I point towards the purple eyes that I have.
I assume you mean relative in nature, not specific.
Yes.
That is incorrect. There has been nobody with your eyes that we have conducted experiments on aside from you.
Okay. Third question, right? Because we're getting into the real questions. I forgot what the fucking third question was going to be, actually. Oh, yes. If we were warned by the great Changol of the ice, if something happens, there's a chance that something that they were like guardians or whatever, but something would come out the tree if all of them were killed, right? So like, what's gonna come out the tree if the Earth one's dead? Like, what's up with that?
They have been given instructions by Glenn Strider to patrol around the tree for anything to venture forth inside. Unlocking many of the secrets inside of this could prove very dangerous to the landscape as well as the mortals outside of this realm. They are not guardians of anything from within. They are guardians of things outside attempting to get in.
So like, what made you decide to have the ice gorilla killed then?
I did not make any such attempts on the ice great apes.
So then
Life.
who controlled the Earth gorilla to kill the ice gorilla? Was that Glenn Strider or you?
I do not control beings. My influence is within this tree itself.
Yeah, I think I did state that I did ask the question, I think, when we first got here, or when we first spoke to him, if this was the same entity that I heard in the mental communications between Ice Gorilla and Creator, air quotes.
Yeah, and they're different.
And I do believe I remember you saying, no, this is not the same voice.
Okay.
Correct.
So the person that would have influence over them would be Glenn Strider, who could be at any one of those magical locations that you said he can teleport to.
That he frequents, correct.
Is there a teleportation circle here?
Multiple, yes. Though their associated counterparts are not necessarily active anymore.
And then going forward in the future, because I thought you were a vindictive asshole. I mean, I still think you're a vindictive asshole, but ultimately, you're just a dude that is super bored
Wants to learn.
and that wants to experiment and learn, because that's all that he has to drive for. And I kind of pity that. I do. But with that being the case, what happens now?
Wait, I still have a few more questions.
Oh. Hey, we'll put off my question for that. Hold off on that until later. Glenn?
I mean, piggybacking off of what Reese was talking about, can you elaborate any further on what's inside this tree here that people from the outside shouldn't touch?
Yes, of course I could. You see, the portion of this tree that I have been able to overtake in recent time, it comes from an era before there was limitations on magic local to various planes of existence. There was no filter, as your young adult novels would suggest. There was no veil at the time that this academy was constructed. As such, the knowledge of various forms of magic, stretching beyond that of normal limitations of magehood and magecraft, would be very dangerous to those outside of it. Not impossible to perform given the nature of a veil, but very taxing and costly.
I think I can understand why people shouldn't touch that then.
One such spell that is within the midst of this facility is a spell simply called Annihilation. A darker form of magic that was utilized in a very specific ritual in which you would draw upon the life force of one individual connecting to their entire lineage in order to connect all lineages of those individuals together and kill them instantaneously.
The genocide spell. Got it.
Correct. While the limitations in place because of the veil would stop the average mage from conducting a spell of this caliber, there are other practices of magic that could circumvent the veil's limitations, producing more power and energy at the sacrifice of individuals or powerful objects, also written about and aware of within these grounds.
Wait a minute. You said the sections that you control. Does that mean there's sections you don't have control of?
The tree itself, I do not control it.
The grows. It makes sense.
It is a tree of life after all.
Okay. I think
Crazy.
yeah, I think the rest of us can see why it's important that people don't get their hands on this.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You keep doing you.
Yeah. You're doing great, buddy.
You're doing great. You know what? You try to kill us. You know you pod our friend over there. And you put a pod person in his place. But you know what?
It's necessary.
We barely survived half of this shit. I doubt that. You know.
Well, as previously stated, you all are not seen as a threat to me or to this facility, so I house no ill will towards you. Everything that transpired was simply out of curiosity and testing your limitations.
So, if there's a spell that does that, right? Is there inventories here of those kinds of equipment, like the research? Like, what does your lab look like?
There is inventories of this equipment, and I am not interested in sharing the location where experimentations are constructed to mortals.
I think that's fair.
That is something I feel protective over. Huh. A second feeling.
Nice.
Nice. What about an immortal person?
I have not encountered a true immortal yet, other than myself. I suppose if they carried the same curiosity as myself, it would be intriguing to learn and to share with them.
There's a spell I'm working on. I don't have the power for it yet. But the theory is I can steal the immortality of a creature. So, just give it time.
Did have one more question that was I wanted to pick it back off of what Genesis and what they were saying.
Go for it.
He said you predicted that they were trying to, in the books, the Echoes of the Shattered Veil, that they would reconvene towards a destination. Do you have a mind of what that destination they're trying to all, if you had to predict where they're all trying to meet back up?
Well, the majority of the books all describe the landscape in the similar moods and tones that would suggest that they are relative to one another, at least on a same planar spectrum. The only ones I can differentiate as different, based off of the mood and tones, would be Echoes Across the Abyss and Cogs of the Clockwork Citadel. Echoes Across the Abyss is fairly easy to predict what it is they are trying to express. The location it is more than likely associated with should be the Abyss. Cogs of the Clockwork Citadel, on the other hand, there's been multiple Clockwork Citadels, but the tone of that specific location, it almost treats this Alistar individual as revered by the author. Somebody noted in a much higher context and quality. And the dealings that they are interacting with seem to be more ethereal in nature. I believe the Cogs of the Clockwork Citadel's location would be associated with something beyond, well, the typical realms. Perhaps something of the Astral Sea's influence. If they were going to be meeting up at any location across those, it would be somewhere between the three. And considering the Abyss is as deep and far as you can get, and the Astral is as high and ethereal as you can get, the next closest whereabouts would be somewhere associated with the material realm that the others are written upon. Or perhaps it was that strange door in chapter 6 of the Cogs of the Clockwork Citadel.
Does the name Finn pop in your mind since it was the main character from your book?
Finn.
Yeah.
There's no specific official records of an individual by the name of Finn. However, there is associated writings in a non-scholarly format referring to Fintasia as Finn. Fintasia. Records pertaining to Fintasia are quite vast. A nuisance within this facility. An individual who, well, was on many different academic parole boards' eyes. Only allowed to maintain here thanks to the hearty donations of their family. The
you
individual?
Are you Finn?
No.
Just not just asked.
Whomever I was before being transformed into this state has been redacted from all forms. For my own safety, of course.
Fantasia Drake? That would be the full name, right? Because we
Fantasia
got
Drake.
Finn. Yeah, because we got Finn from the book. Finn Drake was what the Ice Gorilla said. So Fantasia getting that name. The full name is Fantasia Drake.
That is the full designation and name, correct.
I look at the rest of the group. And you guys ever heard of a Fantasia Drake?
People are welcome to roll
No.
history checks.
No, I don't think so. Let me
I read a lot, so
cast my thoughts across the depths of my mind.
Very deep mind.
This brutally intelligent being that I am.
Yes.
My genius is sometimes terrifying.
Nope. I don't know why I put with advantage for untitled that. See if it's
7.
None of you have ever heard of a Fantasia.
Hold on.
Oh, you are
Sandy's
rolling.
trying
Okay,
to- Yeah, Sandy's trying to throw his hat in the ring.
go for it. And of course, Genesis, you're welcome to join in on this as well.
Eh.
I don't think I have a
7.
history thing.
How many 7s?
I don't have history though.
You always
even
have
if
the
you're-
skill.
Yeah, you always have the skill. It's just if you're trained in it, how well you are at utilizing it. Even if
Oh,
you're not
okay.
trained, you can still, roll better than almost everybody else. 14, 7, 7, 7, 9.
God
None of
damn.
you have heard of a Fantasia Drake.
Well,
Fuck is this?
reminder to send ascending at some point with that name to Cat. Because
They're your smarts.
access to the Noble Library and the Asmodeus Library, so she'll find something.
True. If there's something to be found.
I just wanted to see if we have any, personal recollection of this Fantasia. But I mean, Buddy here seems to have an archive full of information on it.
I keep trying to rearrange the letters into another word, but into another name, but I'm not coming up with anything. I don't know why I'm stuck on that for some reason, but
Oh, for Elena?
Or I think was it Ellen?
Elena?
Eleanor.
Yeah.
Eleanor
But I was
Well,
Yeah.
it's because he dropped the information that there's no records at all of this, which is
Yeah.
why it's interesting.
What, the
Yeah,
Eleanor
like-
one?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when we get to that book area, we'll find more about that.
Well, we are in that book area.
Shadows of the Misty Marsh was Finn.
Yeah, no. But for what's it called? Well, that's why I asked
no,
about the
like-
arboreal.
Is he really
right?
alone?
Oh yeah.
The arboreal enigma was describing this tree, right? So this would be where Eleanor.
Oh yeah.
But there's no record.
Well, I mean, if you don't mind, right? We can always, after we're done with this conversation, right? Are we allowed to utilize your libraries while we're here?
As long as we don't touch the,
The information is not segregated inside of the library, nor do I feel like doing that. You can ask me any questions you would like pertaining to information, and if I wish to share it with you, I will do so. So long as you are not actively seeking information of the annihilation variety or any other relative spells, we should not have any problems.
I think that's
There
fair.
goes my
Yeah.
idea.
As lovely as those spells are, right? As power hungry as I am, I also understand that if I were to try and take them from you, and I think that's everyone here, that would potentially bring it out into the world for other people to take from us. And I'm not down to have my entirety of my bloodline smited. So
Right.
think of it as self-preservation why we're not going to take it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should have their hands on that kind of power.
I mean, yeah, I don't
Bart?
think I want Cat having that either.
Yeah.
Do I have to incite you?
Just one day, Cat storms back into the castle. Fucking gnomes.
Yeah, the idea of erasing a bloodline can be very broad. Just, yes, gnomes.
I think we wouldn't even just use it on people. We'd end up using it on like seagulls or something, you know, like the entirety of seagull population gone.
I may
Well,
make
that already
one
happened.
exception for the spell to be cast. That was the DM, not them. Just fucking
But-
seagulls.
If I don't know if that helps kind of relieve that thought from us for a second. We do have self-preservation when it comes to that type of magic.
In my experience, mortals have had a tremendous amount of self-preservation as their primary motivation.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have no doubt that if we wanted to take the spell, very little could stop us. I mean, yeah, you could try, right? But I feel like we could.
That has nothing to do with anything right now, Reese.
It has nothing to do with anything right now, but
I
I'm
don't
not
think you're
lucky
helping
this-
anyone with
You're
that.
lucky this entity has no ego whatsoever.
Reese is all ego.
Yeah.
You're having a dick measuring contest with a robot.
No,
That shocks no one.
it's a dog, actually.
It's a dog. And I'm winning.
Winning.
So wait, does that mean that the people in Sablehaven are trying to get their hands on this?
The people of Sablehaven have had limited interactions with this location in general. In fact, other than their first time coming here to what they consider rescue our experiments, they have not had much influence here at all. The second time they came to investigate weariness of more experimentations, they were interested in the destruction, but incapable of doing so thanks to the guardians outside. As for any other motivations, I do not know.
It seems like a question for them then. I think if that wraps everyone's questions up, I think we can go back to Reese and ask what happens next, right?
Yeah, that's my big question is, are we... Let me put this offer out, right? Because I also feel like you don't have the concept of loneliness, but I felt like you're a little too eager to do these experimentation, right? Whether to purpose or just the only thing you can do, right? But I want to put out an olive branch, right? I'm not trying to say that we're different, but I do want to put out the hand of friendship towards you, if that's a concept that you can understand.
It is a foreign concept in nature. I do not seek to be befriended by mortals in general. It is not a terrible suggestion. It is just not one I am personally intrigued with. Not to mention, friends require benefits, from my understanding. and I am not interested in providing consistent benefits to the likes of all of you.
We're
I think
that's
friends with benefits is a whole nother thing.
yeah. That involves a little bit of hey, but no.
I do not
That's-
understand.
Okay. No, I'm offering you friendship as an
Can
unconditional
we leave
trust.
the sexual education to a robot to another
Yeah.
day?
Yeah, that's happening. I meant like if you need help and the situation ever comes where someone attempts to get to the scroll or the spells that are here, and that magic can get out into the world, and you are unable to provide the defense mechanisms for that, you can call on me at least. I don't know
I
if
think he called all of us.
all of us. I'm not going to speak for all of you, is the thing. But if you at least call on Glenn and myself, and if anyone else is volunteering, we'll come and help you.
Sock him in the face.
Yeah. With no need for compensation. Because friends help each other unconditionally. I did that right, Glenn? That's the definition.
That was great, buddy.
Okay.
It seems like the words you are speaking are foreign in concept to even yourself. I appreciate the
trying-
gesture and will keep it in mind.
I'm trying to turn over a new leaf myself, so
Step by step, buddy. Step by step.
yes. So that's what I meant.
So, I mean, he mentioned. So, Buddy mentioned something about cogs, the cogs of the Clockwork Citadel being something with the Astral Sea. And I think Cornwallis here, you have an interest in that kind of stuff, don't you? You seem really interested in the books about the stars and whatnot.
Yeah. No, I've just traveled time through the astral sea. The not all of it pleasant. Not sure how recent is your knowledge? Is it mostly based off what is in this library?
The only new information I have been brought is information spoken by Glenn Strider as he's idle-minded at this location, as well as the information you all have provided me today. Aside from that, all of my other information is associated with things that have occurred inside of this location, as well as from the records I've been able to analyze.
Yeah, I think the only thing I desperately want to know would be well outside of his preview of knowledge. And I'm not even sure I want to know the answer anyways. So I'm going to leave that unasked for now.
Are you, buddy, are you able to get in contact with Glenn Strider?
Yes, I am.
Could you tell him that I'm looking for him?
He is already fully aware.
Can you tell him to stay put so I can talk to him?
I cannot tell him to do anything. I can request, of course, though.
That request would be greatly appreciated.
He
And maybe
was
if
the
you
one
could-
who suggested that I test your limitations.
Are you going to give him that information?
Of course.
That'll be all right.
Now, I have a question to pose to all of you. Do you believe Glenn Strider to be the villain of these stories.
I'm looking at Glenn. Just
I don't know. I'm so conflicted on it. I think my association with him might be blurring some biases in. So if I take that into account, I'm going to say yes. I think he is the villain.
as someone who is the villain in his own book, there's a reason. There's always a reason behind everything. So I don't want to make that assumption yet.
Very well. And it idly just sits there, unmoved.
But you've read it now. Do you think he's the villain?
Based off of utilizing my analytical mind, I would have to be inclined to suggest no. However, based off of an emotional standpoint and connection to others and beliefs of rights and wrongs, quite possibly yes. In my mind, from my understanding, there are deeds that are necessary for the greater good. Sometimes it is not perceived in such a manner, especially by beings that think so short-termed.
That's a slippery slope slide of thinking. How many atrocities are recorded in your books that have been done in the saying of the greater good?
Correct. Or was that a literal question?
No, it's a statement.
Very well.
I got no more questions.
I actually have one more question.
Yes.
Can I really just kind of whisper this to you? You know, a little while ago there was like that thing that I put in that place that one time that I kind of forgot the code to get into it. Can you just really whisper that to me? How to get back into that?
I am not an omniscient being.
Oh.
If
Okay, forget.
I could answer your question by, well, reconstructing your mind and filtering through all of the forgotten knowledge that you possess.
As long as we could do that quietly, where nobody else, just keep it down.
It is not a quiet process, typically speaking. Mortals are very loud when they are in pain.
It's okay. It's good. It's not really that important. It's fine. Thanks, though.
Actually, on that note, I look to the rest of the group. We trust Buddy here, right?
Do we?
You all do not.
No, not in the slightest.
He agreed like 5 minutes ago that he tested us for shortcomings and he's going to give all that information to Glenn. He is
Strider.
not.
Glenn Strider.
Glenn
different
Strider,
character.
other Glenn. He is not in any way an ally. I'm not necessarily saying he's an enemy,
Right.
but he's not on your side.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, for trusting us, he's pretty upfront. Like, there's no ulterior motive that we can see.
Where are you going with this?
Well, with the shattered mind thing, right? As long as there's no foul play involved, I would like to have some of my, my head cleared up. I feel like that could provide a lot of information to what's going on here.
I support you 100% in your endeavors.
Yeah, I mean, I also think it would be a good idea because I'm looking at Cornwallis at the second. If you really wanted to know about us, right? These guys, like, I'm relatively new to these people too. These guys have moved mountains, slayed kings, right? Overthrown the government. If he wanted to learn about them, he would just have to ask people.
I believe he stated he's kind of limited to being in here.
I think he's
I meant
referring to
Glenstrider.
Glenstrider. Yeah.
Oh,
And
whoops.
if he's a traveling man, like he's be stated as.
Literally, all you would have to do is just be like, "Hey, have you heard about?" Oh,
Have you heard about Somdi? Right? Have you heard about Bart? Heard about Glenn? Cat? Right? Like all the original people. It's you guys have rep.
Hey, it's your head to do with whatever you want, Glenn. I personally would never let some unknown construct being play with my mind to the extent of trying to reconstruct it. But I also don't have memory problems, so I don't understand where you're coming from. So, if it bothers you enough that you're willing to risk it, that's your headspace to play with.
He also
Okay.
did say that he doesn't do anything with malicious intent, so
Yeah, he says that, but he also said he's capable of lying if he wants to.
Mm.
I look at Somdi. He's walking with random, foreign people in his head. He says, "I like that."
It's. I mean, having a bunch of things moving around in my head now, like other people moving stuff in my head, it seems like kind of the norm with this group. So, if you wouldn't mind, buddy, let's take a shot at that.
you wish for me to deconstruct and reconstruct your mind?
Ooh. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna provide him a little bit of magic support because it's gonna hurt. So I'm gonna go up to him if you don't mind me. It's not that I'm not trusting you in the sense that you're not gonna do a thing. I'm just providing him support in the pain he's about to feel, and I'll cast resistance.
Now, I have a series of questions before I agree to do this for you.
All right.
Firstly, what is it that you expect to gain?
I wanted to. I just think. I mean, with traveling with these guys, I think it's important to know who you once were to help you move forward. And I guess in general, I would like to know a bit about who I am because I don't know much besides what I've been told and what I've learned from waking up. So I guess I wish to know about my past so I can properly move forward with my future.
And do you expect to have a change in who you are once you learn of your past?
I think it might have an influence, especially if I learned that my past has done misdeeds to others. Because what I've learned from traveling with this group, I mean, at least with my god, that helping people is a good thing. So I would like to right any wrongs that might have happened. So yes, I think there is a chance that it might change me moving forward.
And do you believe this is going to change you for the better?
I would like to think so. I think where I'm going, I'm striving to be a good person, quote unquote good person. I mean, I just follow what my mind and morals dictate, but I feel like they're on the right track.
Now, for everybody else, are you willing to lose your current ally in the event that they do change from this?
I mean, part of him being an ally and a friend is to be able to pull him back if something does take him to a dark place. So we're willing to support him.
Yeah, I was gonna say whatever he wants to do. I support him. Is there anything that we can do to tether him to us so that way, or did we already do that?
Oh,
To
he
kinda-
will remain physically as he is now. The process of this is to place incisions across the head, take out the mind itself, and work on it specifically, separated for, well, the process usually is conducted across 20 days or so. Then at which point, refit the head to fit inside of the skull, sometimes readjust the skull's thickness in order to help it fit with potential inflammations. And then, given another 2 to 3 weeks, the individual regains consciousness. The entire time, their soul being placed outside of their head and into a state of limbo.
So a soul jar situation.
Do we get like any aftercare instructions, like discharge instructions?
I don't understand what that is.
Okay.
Glenn, do you still-
Aftercare.
Now that you know what it is, Glenn, do you still want to do it?
So I thought it was just like a quick 1-2, scoop things out, and put them back in kind of situation.
No, the mind of an individual is far more complex than a simple scoop and dupe. Maybe if you were a worm.
Right. Well, I mean, with that in mind now, I do have I look down at my amulet. I got something I gotta take care of before we do any of that. Then
If we wanted to contact you going forward, is it okay if I send you a sending? And can you even receive sendings?
I can, yes. My current
Okay.
form was constructed with a consciousness in mind for such purposes.
Okay. What do we call you?
I do not possess a name.
I've been calling him buddy.
I think I'm gonna say that's your name going forward as a concept for us, buddy.
If it makes you all feel more comfortable, I do not care.
Important and non-important NPCs right now.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Make
buddy.
sure, quote unquote, buddy. Because they aren't buddy, but yeah, it's buddy.
Guy in the tree.
Guy in the tree.
Buddy! That's why he appears as a dog, to make it easier on all of you. Now, I am curious about one last thing. The informations that I have access to have been limited. And without a physical form to take, I am incapable of opening up such limitations that I have. If all of you would be so inclined, there is a door I would like for you to open.
Like a physical door or like...
Yes, a physical door.
Okay.
I am incapable of interacting with it directly.
Sure. We can do that.
Good.
Where...
In the basement of
Friends,
this
after all.
facility.
What's on the other side of the door?
Yeah, I was gonna.
That is-
we should.
Unknown to me. All I am aware of is it is things that was placed specifically away from me.
Do you have an idea of what's behind it? Like, what is your desire behind this door?
I do not have any idea
Oh, God.
of what it might specifically be. However, there is something strange. I do desire to have information as to what is inside. I do not know why.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a simple task. Just open the door for you, right?
In the off chance it's dangerous, can we take a break for a little bit, recover, in the off chance that we open this door and something as dangerous as the Marut comes out? Would we have that power to take that here?
You all are welcome to rest. I know it is something necessary for all of you. Time is a construct made to mitigate the impending dooms of the universe and also to satiate some semblance of belonging across mortals. I do not experience it.
And would you allow me to open up a pocket dimension in here?
No. Doing such a thing would cause a cataclysmic style explosion, which would open a rift and tear within this realm.
Okay, so no mansion. Got it.
I think you're not supposed to throw a pocket dimension in another dimension or something like that.
Nope, you don't
Not a
put two
pocket
pockets
dimension, it's a
inside of one
door.
another.
So many rules.
Yeah.
Is the door that he's asking for visible to us?
The basement.
The basement.
It is in the basement facility, correct.
Is it locked or anything? Like, is there a locking mechanism around it?
It is, yes. That is why I am incapable of getting in there.
Is it locked by magic?
It is, yes.
Do we know how many locks?
I do not. I know it exists there. I know that it is locked off from me, but I cannot interact with it.
Because I got one more question before we decide to fiddle with this thing. Did Glenn Strider ever say anything about, like, keep out, stay away from here?
When I asked what is beyond that door, the only information I received was it is irrelevant to your current state.
Look at you, buddy, with your rebellious phase. Might be hope for you yet.
It is a primal instinct to want what is in there. One that I am curious why I even possess. Something like that is not necessary for something of my creation. Yeah, Tim does this all the time on stream. That's one of the animals.
He was up with me and I ignored him, and so he goes down to Tim. Jeez.
All the time.
Traitor.
I know.
This one I have to bring up here, though. The rest of them jump up on their own.
Okay, so let's rest up, and we will, unless you guys have any other questions.
I'm good. Definitely rest before we try and open the door that's got something behind it for certain.
Maybe it's just a bunch of dusty books. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, and the spells that are protecting it that'll probably try to kill us while we're trying to get into it.
Super Nothic. Watch.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? Anyways, let's go ahead and go on break, everybody. We'll be right back. we're back. So, where last we left off, all of you had requested to have some privacy and take a long rest here inside of the facility, correct? Alrighty then. So, this figure that you all have so graciously named Buddy decides to give you all sleeping quarters. Exact perfect replicas of, well, a college dorm room for all of you to share. One room with 3 bunk beds, desks, some light reading material, decent lighting. That's it. Oh, I didn't turn on my camera. There we go. I will leave you all here. Then the entity makes a showing of the dog walking away.
I don't know why. I think I prefer something other than a dog. Feels weird talking to like an animal, you know?
Yeah, but you know, if he has no concept of form, it makes sense.
We talk to Sandy all the time.
Yeah, experiment 7.
Yeah, but like Sandy's different, right? Because I could get like when he's walking around, it's like around eye level. I can like talk. I'm there. With him, it's like it's a puppy. I don't know. I'd rather it be, I guess, something that more closely resembles his nature. Definitely not a puppy.
I don't know. I don't think he has a nature. I don't think he remembers what he looks like either. It's been so long. So, I don't know. I'm gonna sit on the desk and go through the books that I do have and start reading. There's one that I was really interested in, the transmog one. Yeah, I'm gonna start making my way through that right now. I'll be like, I think we have a lot of, you know, some of us have almost died today, right? So I think it's good to get as much shot out of that as you can.
You keep calling it the transmog. It's the transmute, just for clarity's sake. Transmog is what MMOs give you to look at different skins.
Somebody's been playing too many games.
Yeah. This is
Tome of transmogrification.
Oh, transmogrification. Okay, yeah, so transmutation, more or less, yeah. I hear transmog and I go, I want that skin.
Yeah. That's the whole reason why I took the book. I was like, I want us to look nice.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, written inside of that book is the seeming spell, by the way.
Oh, nice. it's just how to cast seeming. The whole book on one spell. It makes sense.
It's a high-level spell.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyways. You all just go to sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we keeping? Do you guys keep watches or?
I can, yeah. I just post up against the wall and my eyes just stare forward. I'm not blinking or anything.
Yeah, me and Glenn can rotate on watches if it comes down to it. We both only require 4 hours, so.
Well,
Even
that's
then,
handy.
Yeah, and even then, me and him aren't technically asleep. He's like just being a creeper standing there, and I trance.
Glenn already started his cycle. I can't do anything except stare forward.
Yep.
That's not creepy. I'm going to bed, so I don't have to see that.
Weird part is he doesn't blink.
It's horrifying. Literally looks like a zombie up against the wall. Alright. Well then, if you all go to sleep, Who do I want to blame? That's the question. You know what, Samdi? We haven't blamed you for anything in a while.
I
Only
am
a
an
D20.
innocent creature.
Oh, that's not a D100. You're good. Your rest goes by uneventfully. Given where you are, that's about as best as you could ever hope for. In the morning, or when you all wake up, you have no perception of what day or time it is. You see a bipedal large dog walk into the room, standing perfectly eye height with Glenn.
I think he heard me.
Yeah, I think this. Buddy, you're getting kind of weird.
No, you know, I think this is better. This works better. He's got a more like a commanding presence, sort of presence, you know.
I feel like he has jokes, is what he has.
Well, it is still true that all of you find furry creatures desirably comforting within the recesses of your minds, while having the request that I be of eye height. Or would this form be better? And then it shimmers and disappears and then returns as a four-legged giant version of the puppy that is eye level with you.
I look like Glenn.
Man, honestly, at this point, it's just your preference. You already satisfied my needs. You know, I'm talking to someone face to face, and it's like you got that aura about you now. You know, just with the size increase, I guess.
It blinks at you absent-mindedly.
Something that skipped my mind. Sorry, this came from here, and I start rifling. I pull out my sword, the sword of the Perun. What is this?
That is the sword of the Perun.
What does it do? Outside of like what I've naturally done with it, there's more to it. I just don't know what it is.
It belongs to a series of magical weapons constructed for the specific guardians of this facility, as well as all of its associated counterparts as a whole.
What are their associated counterparts?
The various academy grounds, as you refer to it.
Oh, so there's a sword of the Perun in each and every academy, is what you're saying.
No, there's only one sword of the Perun. Each of them has their own designated blade. For the head guardian of each of them.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. And I put it away.
Head guardian for each of the sections of the academy.
So each school of magic had its own guardian. Head, it's kind of like the head of security for each building.
Which one? Do you know which school of magic the Sword of Perun was for?
Yes, that one was designated to the Transmutation School.
There's nothing transmutation related to it.
It's meant
That I
for the
know of.
Guardian to use to defend it. The Guardians did not subscribe to the same specific studies as the mages of the various academy schools prescribed to. They were more into developing their physical bodies while entertaining the school of thoughts of magic.
I get that. Do you have a record of who was the last wielder of the Sword of Perun?
Give me a moment. Scroll.
I just like it because what I do, you do, just like that. you know?
I wonder if Harmonious is a sort of one of the guardians. That
Maybe.
because it washed up on the shores of the what's it called, right? The sunken school. So that would be the school for Gleebly.
Yeah, because when I attuned to it, it attuned to me because I was Fey. But it also, when I tuned to it, it had more power, but the only thing I could ascertain was the ability to mimic what I do. And you saw me do it in the last fight.
The Sword of the Perun was associated with Glen Vildon, one of the head securities of this section of the academy, while it was still an academy.
Glen Hudon?
Vildon, Vildon. Apostrophe before the D.
Okay.
Guess I'll put my theory to this. How about this one right here, Harmonious? It washed up on the school, I think the School of Enchantment section.
Yes.
Huh. Curious. You found it near the School of Illusions.
Illusions.
Enchantment?
It was
It was
enchantment.
enchantment.
Yeah.
That is strange. The leader of all the Glens. He was the wielder of that one. Glen Alistair.
That makes sense. You were saying something about how Glenn Strider looked at him in like revering sort of way, right?
That is how it was written about him.
The one that might be in the Astral Seas.
The cogs of the Clockwork Citadel. That
Yeah.
one.
It was a realm associated with the Astral Seas.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So Glenn Alistair was the head of security. So like I guess in a sense like the head of my family.
Correct.
Oh, so this is technically yours then, Glenn. Is it okay that I'm using this?
Yeah, of course, man.
So long as you are an elf, you are capable of utilizing it.
Oh, I don't know how long I'll be able to utilize this, so just heads up.
How about those of the half-blooded variant? As I look over at Bart.
The heritage of elf is the only designated or necessary designation for these weapons to be accepted by an individual. Beyond that, they do choose, in certain situations, for individuals based off of their specific association with beliefs of good and evil, depending on how sentient the blades are.
Hasn't started talking to me yet, so I'm sure it's fine.
So Harmonious here is like the head honcho, huh? Look at you, buddy. So I look at the sword.
Noted.
But I think if we're all rested up and such, let's give a crack at this door, shall we?
Mm-hmm. As we're heading towards it, Cornwallis, Genesis, where were you before you came here? Like, I feel like we've actually not asked you where you guys are from.
I'm from a lot of places. I've traveled around for decades at this point. I'm originally from a small encampment of my people that was wiped out. And then served a few years on a ship. And then the last couple of years being Genesis has just been roaming around looking for adventure and hunting monsters and looking for more information about this book series that they seem so attached to.
Yeah, Genesis, and you?
Basically, yeah, I love this book series and I want to become an adventurer, and I spent a lot of my um, childhood, I was very sick, and as I got older, I got healthier, and I wanted to make up for lost time, and now I want to fulfill my destiny, be an adventurer. And I received my blades as a gift um, when I became an adult, and here I am.
It's kind of from sick to adventure, just like that. I dig it.
Well, it took time. I was very sick as a child, and just as I got older, I started to get healthier and healthier, and just the last few years, I just got better.
What region do you both come from?
Not here.
Like
As
not the
in,
tree.
like not this world.
Oh.
What do you mean by that? Like from a different realm?
Yes.
I mean, we've been to quite a few, if you can believe that. But what about which realms do you guys hail from?
I honestly don't remember what realm my original family was in, and then I spent a large chunk of my formative years sailing the astral sea, and so for no particular realm in particular.
Interesting.
Mine's really of no consequence. It's not a place big enough to really, it's just a spit on the map.
So you're from this realm.
Yes.
Okay. Well, when we get back to my office, I do have maps of the many areas. You can point it out. It's good to know small things like that.
So why are you guys out roaming around in here? Other than, is this all for Glenn's history? Trying to find who he is?
Pretty much, yeah.
I think that's pretty important for my sake, I guess. We've been traveling around. If you've been around this the material plane for a while, I guess, then you might have heard of stories about our escapades and such.
Crickets.
Have I heard any stories of them, Joey? I don't think
You're
that
proficient
I've
in
been on...
history, right?
I am. I'm proficient in history.
Okay. If you've been on this continent for any amount of time, you would realize that there's a group of individuals that the common folk love, and that high society people fear. They have overthrown 2 different governments and 2 very large defining cities on this continent. And their names do correlate with all of these people here.
Does that mean too? Even though I'm trying to disassociate with them as much as possible every chance I get.
Dude, you're too much of a personality. You're known as a part of them.
Yeah. So I bring up. Yeah. So essentially, they did me a favor and they overthrew my in-laws, and I've been helping them since.
In-laws. So you don't look like you come from... Are you from Casino or Spalding then?
I'm from Spalding.
Ah.
I am Rasan Levon Spalding.
Now, from your very short time in Spalding, you realized that a lot of the people of the Spalding lineage are roughly shaped like 5'2" Oompa Loompas.
Very wide load.
Very middle heavy, if you will. And they wear it like a status of beauty.
And you do not stand like that?
Rasan's like a scrawny dude. He looks like that.
You're not typical to what a Spalding has been described.
I did a favor for them, and I married into their family.
Ah, that's right.
power.
You did say in-laws.
In-laws. Yes, I was raised in Spalding, right, with my adopted parents. I eventually, through means and conflicts involving a grudge, I eventually married into the royal family, taking over a couple of the land areas, and I became a deal maker, a lawman, as you will, right? And a lawman, I work under Asmodeus' church, stuff like that.
You're a lawman under Asmodeus' church.
Yes, that's my god.
For now.
That's my god.
Heard you the first time, buddy.
I worship the law aspects of Asmodeus' church, not the more barbaric means. That's not me.
I've met a lot of people follow a lot of different gods.
Yeah.
Which one it is generally doesn't make that much of a difference. There's a lot of wide range in every clergy.
Yeah. Besides, my personal job outside of being a lawman is I help people. That's what I do. For a price.
There's nothing wrong with getting paid.
It's not always money.
I didn't say paid money.
You know, sometimes it's money, sometimes it's like, you know, a favor, sometimes it's their children. Like, it depends on what the day is.
Do you have like a house you keep these children in, or do you like resell them for profit?
No, I send them away.
You
But
just gather them up and then just send them on their way.
send them into the world. No,
Good luck, 7-year-old.
I send them to the college in the town to the right. I forgot what it is. The main. There's like a
Sharpton.
which one? Sharpton. Yes, I send them to Sharpton to get educated, right? Because at some point when they're humans most of the time, right? I will outlive them, so rather have them be educated and an asset down the line than them not.
So you're trying to raise a group of allies for future
Something like
people
that.
indebted to you.
Yep.
Seems like a very long-term planning.
I have the embodiment of patience.
He's the embodiment of a lot of things.
Yes. So if there's anything you need, we can always make a deal.
I'll remember that.
Of course.
Well, should we go try and open this door?
So, I suppose so. By the way, Genesis, I replied to you in Discord. You're good. You all venture down, having to actually walk to a place for the first time inside of this facility with the assistance of Buddy, as you so generously called him. You head down, walking through a staircase that seems much more solid than most of the other places you've gone to thus far. As you are wandering down the stairs, you get to a platform that has spiked walls on either side of you, reminiscent to one of the trials you all had to commit to very recently. But then, you see the door directly in front of you. This door is completely made out of some type of strange metal that you would have to be some type of blacksmith to know what it is. Anybody? Didn't think
Yeah.
so. Y'all
Only
aren't
Monkey
a,
was here.
y'all aren't a skilled group. Without Monkey. So, you're not sure what metal is on the door, but you can see that it has a blue arcane ring around it that has runic markings all around the perimeter of it. There's a barrier of magic on the outside as well that is very distinct and distinguished. You can see this reverberating effect of pulsing magic that is happening, and every time the magic pulses, you can see the figure that Buddy has taken right now, this giant puppy of sorts, seems to flicker and then settle.
I'm not liking the spikes on these walls.
Looks locked. I guess we can't tell. No, I'm just kidding. I can support whoever wants to do something with that, but I got nothing.
Buddy, are you able to manipulate this room at all? Like, take away
Not-
the spikes on the wall?
Not in the slightest, no.
Okay. Well, obviously this door is trapped.
I can make that assumption too.
What makes it obvious?
I mean,
Was that sarcasm?
No, I'm
Buddy,
actually
you're
wondering.
really coming out of your shell.
I do not possess any shells.
nice. I mean, you see the spikes on the walls. I mean, if they're anything reminiscent of the trial you gave us, those things are going to close in.
Huh. Strange. So you associate all spikes with impending doom and death. Was that before my trials and tests against you, or did my efforts, what do you mortal call it, traumatize you?
I don't know if he was insulting you or throwing shade at you, Glenn. Like, this man's coming out with some things. Spikes usually, mean impalement. So,
Sharp, pointy things are bad for mortals.
yes.
Curious.
Okay. So, does anybody in the group know how to maybe get rid of some of that magic glowing things around the rock? I mean, around the door, because I don't feel comfortable touching it with.
No.
I don't have anything that could help.
I don't have Dispel Magic. It's the one spell I don't have.
I have a thing, magic hand. The hand vanishes, or it, you can use the hand to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door or container, retrieve an item, open a container, pour contents of a vial.
Mage hand?
Mage hand, yes.
Mage hand, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on.
You're good.
Okay.
Oh, you mean
Um,
this spell? Oh, cast mage hand.
Just kidding. Yeah, does that help?
It can interact with the door without threat of you dying immediately.
Yeah. So I mean, like, we can at least tamper with it from 30 feet away and like trigger anything immediate and get that going safely, right?
Yeah, it's worth a try.
I mean, I'm at least out of range of the majority of instant kill spells. So if you need me as buffer,
I'm also, pretty worried about these walls closing in. Do we have like a brace or something, or are we just gonna maybe Samdi, if you're gonna turn into like a giant creature to like brace the door, watch out for know which spikes that you're trying to avoid.
Looking at the spikes. So are they held like up by something? Like, is there a contraption?
No, the spikes
or
are
they're just
attached to the walls.
They're just
Think
attached
like
to the wall.
giant sharp studs sticking out of the
Yeah.
wall.
Okay.
I also have fly and misty step.
That is very useful.
and I have geisha spawn.
I wish I could fly right now.
You can fly.
I can teleport. That's it. I could summon a Viraga and see what happens to him.
We gotta lockpick this door, right? I mean, unless you think you can break it down with brute force, but I'm not a blacksmith, but that metal looks special.
So my thing is, I don't think if it's the lock part, I'm worried about. I'm worried about the magic parts. That's my concern here. Let's see what happens with the. Let's start with one thing first, right? I'm gonna cast knock from 60 feet away. So I'm gonna take a couple steps back, all right, and go and see what happens.
Okay. You cast the knock spell on the door. You watch as immediately. Oh, is anybody standing in that hallway?
Yeah, I think Glenn is.
No.
I would have had everyone come back with me, if
Okay.
anything,
Okay.
and ask Glenn. Glenn, you have the binoculars, right? Because of your goggles.
Yeah.
Tell me what happens.
Okay. I'll
Okay.
tell you what my dead eyes see.
So, everyone else is out of the room. Glenn, you're like at the cusp of the room. Okay. Well, you watch as soon as you cast the spell, the walls and slam shut. And then slowly open back up. The arcane protections on the door still persist.
Okay.
That looks painful.
Yeah, it wasn't even slow. That's good. We're getting somewhere. Okay. Next experimentation, right? I'm gonna rip my hand off, right?
Yep.
So for Genesis and Cornwall, this is your first time seeing it, right? You're gonna see me look at my hand and just you see it just cut off, but there's no blood or anything. So I'm gonna cast Creeping Touch. I'm gonna have it go over there and touch the. So you see like this, like thing, and I'm gonna have it go touch the door and see what happens.
Okay. The hand crawls over to the door. Crawls up it. And thing just sits there.
Nice.
So like,
It's what it is, right? Like that's
Yeah.
totally thing.
yeah. And then Genesis, you have Mage Hand, right? See if you can like push the door, open the door.
Let's do it together, Genesis. And I'll
So-
cast Mage Hand as well.
3
I just
mage
click on it, right?
hands. Oh, you don't actually have to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we know what mage hand does as a most cantrips we're all very familiar with. So you summon forth your mage hand, and 2 mage hands and thing go over to the wall. The 2 mage hands immediately dissipate into nothing as they touch the door.
Oh.
The door says your magic is weak.
Anybody here proficient in Arcana may roll, or if you're a bard.
I'm proficient. I'm expert. I will not cast guidance because I have concentration right now. So let's see what I get. Let's do the. I'm gonna use the game reroll.
Go
this,
for
or
it.
the advantage. Uh, 22.
We love
Hey!
22. So, by the looks of it, the only difference between your mage's hand and their mage hand is theirs are pure arcane force. An arcane spell being cast at it seems to have had a safety precaution to, before the spell can get past, cause the collapse of the tunnel, the passageway to be immediately and lethally just crushing. It is a safety precaution that is not meant to be a deterrent, more so than a means of destruction of anybody that would go against you. But magical influence, strictly magical ones, this door seems completely immune to. Your mage hand, however, is physical, living. It is yours. You just utilize that off your body when you use it. So you think that this door has an arcane protection, specifically against purely arcane things.
So with that being said, it's safe to assume knock did not work.
Knock did not work.
Okay. Oh, y'all are gonna have to physically pick this.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a space in front of this door between where the walls are clasping together? Is there a dead space between the walls coming together and the door?
No, there is not.
There is not. Okay. Because I have this gate thing that creates portals, but that doesn't I could drop a portal right in front of the door, but that doesn't do any good if there's a wall
Correct.
crushing the door. Never mind.
I've got one thing I could try, but if it works and there's maybe trapped on the other side for at least an hour if I can't find a way to open it from the other side.
I have one idea. And I'm not very eager to share it.
By all means, show it someday.
Well, a lot of things are gonna need to be at risk if I try it. First and foremost, myself.
Okay, if that's the case, let's try something more easy before we get to that.
Let me try mine first,
Yeah.
and we'll see how that works. So I'm going to slowly walk into the room, making sure that I'm ready to dash back if these things just close in on me.
Sure.
If there's a trigger on the floor or something.
I'm gonna have my hand come back to me, that way it doesn't get smashed and I take damage.
And then when I get close to the door, I am going to use Ethereal Step, which basically allows me to do etherealness for 1 round. Which will jump me into the ethereal plane.
So,
And then I will cross over to the other side of the door if I can.
let me describe what you see when you cross over to the ethereal plane. Moving from this realm into the other for the briefest of moments, as you are capable of doing, you can see the arcane influence and mechanisms inside of the room. You can see how the filters of this deflection in front of you goes outwards and into the walls itself, this barrier of magic all around it that is encapsulating, even through the ethereal, what you are looking at. However, beyond that door, you also see ethereal bodies. 5 of them. Lying on a table, with a magical web placed over top of them for protection as well. Now, I need a perception check from you to see if you can find a way past this threading of magic they have here in place.
27.
27. There is one location inside of this hallway of spikes where the spikes don't actually have an arcane infusion on this side. Meaning, when the door is interacted with in any capacity, there in the middle of the hallway is a safe spot you would not be capable of seeing unless you were happened to be inside of it, or in the state that you were in. You also peer that from where you are, there is still an arcane deflection that you could try to pass through. However, you're going to have to be incredibly nimble and very quick. Since you are doing all of this in only the matter of 6 seconds, are you going to make that attempt?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to pull back.
So all of you watch as he flickers out of existence and then flickers back.
Well,
So there was a safe spot in the wall on this plane,
Yes.
but I could only see it from the ethereal.
Correct.
So
because
there's a
everything
safe...
collapses at the same time.
Right.
You wouldn't have seen the middle that didn't collapse.
Right. So there's a section in the middle that won't collapse when the door is triggered. And I can point it out. So that's a
How do you know
safe
that?
spot. So I slipped over to the ethereal plane briefly. On the ethereal plane, you can see better parts of the trap because some of this trap is also set up on the ethereal plane. There are also 5 bodies in the ethereal plane on the other side of that door, all strapped to tables and webbed down. I do not know what that means.
I'm going to cast See Invisible to see into the ethereal plane.
Yeah, I was gonna do the same thing. That's smart.
So, do I see what he's describing?
Oh, are you casting See Invisibility?
Yes.
Okay.
I said that.
I'm sorry, my brain shorted out for half a second.
I said that too.
Probably like 5 seconds, but anyways. You see exactly what he saw when he was over there. Just everything layered on top of it. Looking at it, the arcane field of protection here seems fairly intricately binding. However, the way that the strings of magic go from the center, that blue circle in the middle, into the ethereal and all through the chamber and around that door like a cage. It looks like the arcane sigil could be influenced manually in order to disrupt the flow of all of the strings and make it traversable. However, you would have to be something with a physical form and body influencing it, and you would have to be capable of seeing beyond this factory. Or sorry, facility.
But okay, so if I'm getting this right, that is currently what I am. I have a physical body and I can see it.
Correct.
And is it in that spot that is a possible safe spot?
The sigil is on the door. You would need, well, I mean, it's easy enough to get to. It's not as difficult as spanning the entire hallway within a fraction of a second. But you could instruct somebody who's nimble if you want to be at the safe spot. It
Hey,
is
Glenn.
Right.
Need you to do something.
What does it involve me getting crushed by the walls?
Not if you're good.
Do you have a failsafe in case it doesn't go good?
I can resurrect you.
I think
Just fucking die.
Glenn.
I think Genesis may have mentioned something that could be used as a fail safe. I've seen them cast it before. That gate you talked about, Genesis, I believe that stays up for a period of time. So you could probably put one end near the door and one end in the safe space. So all Glenn would have to do is step back through Genesis's gate.
Very smart.
Let's see if the walls don't react to the gate, though.
Well, I don't know that Genesis needs to cast on the gate, on the door itself, just like a foot or two behind it, just enough for Glenn to be able to back up once he's out of reach.
I have to be able to see the place that I'm going to cast this thing, though.
Yeah.
Well, and you can.
Yeah, you can see both of it.
You can see
But-
it now. It's when it closes you can't see it.
Oh, okay.
And it'll persist for 10 minutes.
This sounds
Meaning-
like a good plan.
At least if he fucks up, all he loses is a hand compared to
I
needs to be
found something.
resurrected. Yeah.
that might be really simple, and it probably isn't what I think it is, but I'm gonna just send it to you because I can't pronounce this. It says something at the bottom that I can fling a door open for like 1 minute.
Yes, if this didn't have arcane protections, that is
Oh, okay.
correct. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
In most
Thank you.
situations, mages are dumb enough that simple things like this do solve the problem.
I was like, wait a second.
Mages
Oh,
are
big
geniuses,
bitch.
but geniuses are dumbasses most of the time.
Yeah, usually my go-to is the knock spell it and then thaumaturgy it open, you know.
Yeah.
So I get it.
It's worth the shot.
So, if I understand this correct, you have Samdi with the sight, Glenn's going to be entrusted with influencing it, and Genesis is going to have a gate so Glenn can do it from 15 feet away, where the worst thing he can lose is his arm.
So my concern is I don't know if it's gonna be like an arcane check or something dex related. So with that being said,
Well, in either
Okay.
case, Glenn is good at both.
good at both, yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna reattach my hand. Right. The way I don't have concentration on that. I'm gonna cast guidance and I'm gonna go, Glenn, you got this. You've been doing good so far. You got this. And I'm gonna inspire him.
You feel inspired.
All right, let's do this.
All right, so you have 10 minutes before the gate goes away.
I should be planning.
Samdi,
Mm-hmm.
I need from you a performance check.
Oh,
This
boy.
is you describing how everything is outlined for Glenn to visualize and manipulate.
I want to use my game advantage.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Let's go. I think that's your first nat 20 in like 10 sessions.
Eh,
Anyways.
don't remind me.
That's awesome. So, you describe the way that these threads of magic encapsulate the room and the way that it seems to be attached to different sigils that can be physically manipulated and touched. Glenn, looking through the arcane gate to the other side, you start to touch them, and as your fingers connect, you feel this sizzling sensation happen. It's painful, of course, but you're somebody with an incredibly high tolerance to pain in general.
Yeah.
You are suffering 5 points of damage each round that you're interacting with this. So,
That's fine.
we're going to take this a little slowly to see
Okay.
when you need to call your allies for a heal or two. Now, you can visualize what Samdi is describing to you as he's doing as damn near perfect of a job as you can possibly expect. I need you to roll me an Arcana check. This is going to be the first of these checks that you make. This is you visualizing what he is instilling into your mind and then realizing how the manipulation of this magic happens and takes place.
All right. I am going to use my game advantage for this.
Alrighty.
Guidance and inspiration. I'll probably save some of those. I will save. Here's the roll. I'm going to use a d6. Oh gosh,
Plus the D4.
I think it's in there. It's in there.
Oh.
I'm gonna use my first lucky.
Alright, you get to re-roll the d20, but you're stuck with the 3.
Okay, here we go.
Come on.
I don't know why I rolled that. So it's a 12 plus 3. So that's a 15 then.
Considerably better. We're sticking with that one, Reese?
Yeah, I gotta save a 2 just in case.
Okay. You being an auditory thinker, not a visual thinker, is coming back to bite you in the ass a little bit. Oh wait, no, you're canonically a visual thinker, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the one that's thinks in images while everyone else here thinks in words. So, it's a very difficult thing for you to try to imbue your mind with what he is trying to describe, but you're going to do the best that you can, of course, with what you have. Now, Glenn, it's time for your next check. I need you to roll me a sleight of hand check. Being careful not to make any mistakes. Samdi's assistance, as you are doing this, is giving you not disadvantage because you did fail your Arcana check for visualizing. You're working almost solely off of Samdi's command.
Okay.
You know, I could also just be reading your surface thoughts, which is probably what you're seeing. Which is also like the way of describing it.
Normal roll. Here we go. Are you? Do I get a recast for the guidance, or is it just one roll? That's it.
I have to be able to touch you for guidance.
And right
Oh,
now
does
you're a little
guidance
far
last
away.
a minute?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's on
but
the
it's-
next check within a
Yeah.
minute.
Oh,
No
okay.
guidance on this roll. Then.
Not
Here we
Baldur's
go.
Gate 3.
Yeah. That's a
Ooh.
20.
Roll that
And
D3.
you Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, I
What
thought
I
you
roll?
were using your arcane thing on this.
No,
Okay.
not on this one.
Dirty 20. You manipulate these different runes on the circle, sliding them in and around, and as you are doing so, there's a couple of moments, Samdi, you see that they go from their bluish state, the strings and threads, to a red, as if they were about to collapse, but luckily, they don't. You pull him back just slightly enough as you keep manipulating through all of this. You're realizing that this puzzle you are trying to unravel, this arcane infusion here, is incredibly difficult to maintain for a period of time, and the fact that you only have 10 minutes to do this safely from a range is proving taxing without feeling too much of the pressure. This wouldn't be as bad for you. However, under pressure, dun 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 dun, dun, I need you to give me a charisma save, Glenn, to not freak out and just focus on the goal at hand.
Oh boy, guys. Here we go.
I will. Oh,
Okay.
go ahead.
I would like to pray to my God for this one. Monkey, give me the strength to be charismatic and get through this. That's a reroll. Thank you, Monkey. Please. It's not gonna get that much better.
You do have inspiration still.
Oh right. Can I use that on a save?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Skill
any
checks,
ability check.
attacks,
Saves.
save.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a D10.
Yep.
Zer.
Yes, this is where I need it.
Yeah, let's go. Having your friends believe in you makes it much easier for you to focus. If it was only your arms in danger of failure, honestly, you probably would have freaked out a little bit. But the fact
needed
that
to-
there's others involved in this makes it a lot easier for you to maintain control. Just shy of the end of your gate spell, Genesis, all of you watch as the blue sigil on the other side of this chamber fades away. Samdi, you see the threads have all been filtered out into the ethereal realm, away from this facility, and they're starting to pull themselves back already, but this is going to be a slow, tedious process that you can watch the entire way through.
I'll just call back to Glenn. You did it.
Nice. I can't feel my hand for some reason. How much damage did I take, Joey?
If that would have been 9 minutes, Let's get a calculator out.
That's a
So-
lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, so 60 times 9 divided by 6. 90 times 5 is 450 points of damage total. So you need a lot of fucking healing that entire time.
I can't get through all that.
You don't say.
With your allies, you definitely can. You just need to call out for the healings for it.
Yeah, I don't even know how many spell slots that would get from me though.
What type of damage would that be?
Oh, all of that damage is force.
Yeah, the resist element's not gonna do that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, oof.
Well, you have 112 that you're working with. And what's your temp HP usually at?
11.
11. So yeah,
Just for me.
you can start rolling your heals, Reese. Let's see how well you can keep them up.
Okay. Is it safe to assume I used all my bardic inspiration to give him temporary HP as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what's 4 times 11? 44. So 44 is immediately mitigated.
So another 33, so you're down to 294 points worth of healing for this process.
Oh my god, I don't even know if I can heal all that.
We're about to find out.
Okay,
But-
so I've got 30 points of lay on hands.
All right, so that's
That
30.
helps.
But you gotta
That
touch
helps.
him.
Yeah, there's a section of the corridor where you're safe in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Only my hands are
Uh,
through the portal.
Yeah. We're portaling him. He's
I assume we've taken a short rest in this, so I've got my warlock spell slots.
Taking a
back.
long rest.
We
Yeah.
got a
he
long
took a
rest.
long rest while you weren't
Yeah.
looking.
I'll throw my first level slots to start. Two
Alright.
good ones, two terrible ones. So 24, 34.
All right, so we're down to 230 left.
Okay. I'm gonna throw all 4 of my level ones, isn't it, too?
Mm-hmm.
God, it just hurts.
Ignore the 5 on top of that.
3.
Hexblade's curse doesn't apply.
Oh, oh.
What?
So that's okay. So that was all the 4th levels. We gotta do some math here.
First levels. I'm doing it right now. You need another 175.
175.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Nearly max healing on that,
Yeah, that's a good one.
apart from the shitty first level roll. Then I've got 2 second levels.
There's my second levels.
Time.
Gosh,
93.
this- so much pain. I'm just healing and getting hurt. healing and
71
getting hurt.
more.
How many left?
71 more.
72
Jesus
more.
Christ.
13. 12. 47 more. 8.
I'm glad we took this long rest now.
9. Yeah.
Okay, that is
Let me get the last of that. That way, whatever you have left, I
30 more.
30
That
more.
is-
Okay.
everything I've got. Is that including my lay on hands?
Yes, I did that one first.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that is all of my spell slots.
Okay.
You didn't have to use all of them.
use the last level.
I think I
two have.
did.
Now, if you guys have
Yeah.
potions and shit too, you can just.
Point down my throat.
Okay.
No,
So
just-
16.
Well, Baldur's
Yup,
Gate it was
14
throw it at your
more.
feet.
Okay. Do we have potions?
I have 2 regular health potions.
I can.
I
Yeah,
also
so-
have 2 regular health potions. I'm gonna chug those 2 regular health potions down his throat. Beer pong status.
I was imagining more like a boxer and his ring, have the ring, and you just pour it all over his head.
That probably does end up like that.
Just
Go
say-
ahead and roll
Just
it.
dump it on me.
The potions don't need to be imbibed separately.
5 more.
You can pour them all together. I will also do.
Whatever. I think
There we go.
That might have been it with the 2.
So, with all of that, you have 3 hit points remaining, Glenn.
Jesus
Ow.
Christ.
Ow. I'm okay.
I'll
Are
hit
you
him with-
though?
I'm gonna hit him
I'm
with a
okay.
big heal right now.
Oh,
as
now
well.
you use heal.
No, I don't have heal. I was
Oh,
gonna hit
okay.
him with a higher level cure wounds. That way he can restore some hit points at least.
Nice.
20.
20. So you're at 23 now, Glenn.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh,
What was that?
Glenn doesn't need hit points too much.
I'll be
He
alright.
he just needs key points.
Hey,
Yeah,
all you ever need is one.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm
Are,
good.
are you okay there, Glenn?
Yeah.
Like,
I can't feel my hands.
no, physically you're at least still alive, but are you good? Was-
Wait,
What are you talking? If you're talking about pain, I'm accustomed to this.
I'm gonna give you a level 4 healing or cure wounds as well, just to be on the safe side.
And
Right, you
now-
let me use all of my spell slots and you were holding back on me? Man.
I used all the level 1s, and then you just started rapid firing kills out. That's not my fault.
You kind of started pumping them. I was like, oh shit.
Because I was
in
just like, I
fairness,
can
my spell
heal
slots are worth
people.
nothing.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
I was
that
like-
is the most Bart has healed this entire campaign.
Dude, it's the most healing
Yes.
in the whole campaign.
Yes, that is more times than I have cast cure wounds in the last 4 years combined.
It's
Thanks,
crazy.
man.
Like, I have cure wounds and healing words on like standby, but they're just meant to pick you up. They're not meant to heal you like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used the level 4 as well. So that 20 plus the 30,
Plus
sorry,
20.
20 plus 28.
I'm at 51 now.
So now that the circle is off of the door, Samdi, you see it is beginning to filter back inside. The threads are going to reassociate themselves to their static point. You have some time to get in there and investigate, just not infinite.
Alright, time to do this. We have, let's say, like 5 minutes.
Once we touch the door, is the thing still gonna close on us?
No, the threads
Hey,
are
Glenn,
being
could you
pulled
touch
out.
the door?
Okay. Okay. It's safe to say it might still be locked though, so I'm gonna use my mage hand and attempt to shove the door. Actually, I'm thaumaturgy. Genesis, you got this.
You're muted on Zoom.
Yeah, I got this.
All right.
I'll back you up with that too.
Okay.
Believe.
We'll hit a double thaumaturgy.
When
So-
the fucking door open.
I'm sorry, what do I hit?
So, when it comes to something like this is more of a theater of the mind spell more than an interactive spell with the game and mechanics. So, describe what your thaumaturgy looks like. What does it look like when you cast this spell?
Okay. Sorry, this is the one
That-
where the door flips open for a little. This one does a lot.
Yeah, thaumaturgy is one of the best spells in the entire game.
Yeah.
Is that one
Yeah.
impressive prestidigitation?
Well, the only part that I really focused on was the part where it kind of snapped open a door for a little bit and then shut it again. So I kind of wanted to use this in combination with the gate one, but we already used that, didn't we?
Yeah, the gate's over.
Yeah, gate's over. So can I use that with fly real quick? Can I just like
Oh, you can cast it from outside the hallway. It's 30 feet away.
Yeah, can I cast it and then use fly and just fly through that door real quick while it's open?
If the door's open, yes. If it's not, it's
Yeah.
going to be hilarious.
Yeah, will be. Won't it? Because there's no guarantee that the door's gonna actually open, huh?
Yeah,
True.
it might still be locked. That's what we're checking.
Oh, sure. Let's just check that.
All
'Cause
right.
we
So,
magically
are you
locked
going
it.
to 50-50 face planting into the door, or are you gonna wait a moment?
I'm gonna wait a moment. I'm gonna err on the side of caution and wait a moment.
Awesome. So, you stand outside the corridor. Describe to us what your hereditary spell looks like. You're calling upon your fiendish lineage to summon forth this thaumaturgy, this command of the door to open. This dramatic spell.
This dramatic spell.
Thaumaturgy is the most dramatic spell in all of D&D.
Oh.
I make myself
like, look at
louder.
any
I
of-
change the eye colors. Like
You can make a cape pillow.
dramatically. It specifically says
Oh no.
Thaumaturgy is just a theater kit of spells.
Since we're both using thaumaturgy, do you want me to go first? That way you kind of
Yeah,
see
will
what it
you
looks like?
please?
Yes.
That would be
Okay.
great.
Yes.
Thank you.
For Rasan, you see his eyes turn red for a second, and you see his fiendish nature kind of come through as the smell of sulfur fills into smoke, and he just sends the smoke of like sulfur at the door, pushing it. So it's kind of similar like that.
Awesome.
Okay, so for Genesis, their stature kind of beefs up a little bit, not like a whole ton, just they kind of, instead of being all kind of like gangly and lanky and well, not gangly and lanky, but kind of like thick, they just kind of fill out, get a little bit taller, a little more filled out, and then eyes change color to a deeper kind of greenish blue, and horns get more impressive, and voice gets deeper, and yeah, Kate bellows and just makes a grand gesture of the hands and makes a motion that the action is happening for the magic.
So, as you whip your hand, commanding the door's presence to fly open, in conjunction with Rasan, you all watch as the door does, in fact, open now.
Nice.
Right.
And nothing immediately happens.
You have to put the word
Yay.
immediately in there, don't you, Joey?
Of course.
Yay.
Out of precaution, again, I don't think the walls are closed again. Should we rush through, or you want to guys?
Can I quick just use fly? Can I just try that really quick?
Absolutely.
Can I gun it?
As you ask that, Glenn, woo, Genesis flies by and
Oh, we're racing now, huh?
So, as the party descends into the basement of this facility, you found your way past this door, and you can see a faint glow pulsating from a side. Upon closer inspection, your eyes are drawn to several preserved bodies encased in a thin, translucent film that seems to defy the passage of time. Each body is suspended in an upright position, almost as if in a state of animated suspension. Among them, a wood elf woman catches your attention, Glenn and Genesis. The young woman, her almond-shaped eyes are frozen in an expression of intellectual curiosity. She wears simple, practical robes, and a pair of delicate glasses rest on the bridge of her slightly upturned nose. Strands of golden brown hair, now forever preserved, frame her elven features. Her hands, once accustomed to delicate alchemical work, are carefully arranged at her sides. There's an air of intelligence and determination about her, as if she had been on the cusp of a groundbreaking discovery. Beside her, other preserved figures stand sentinel, frozen in various poses of activity or repose. Each body seems to tell a story of lives interrupted, their expressions capturing a moment in time that has become timeless. The reason the woman stands out to you is what I just described was exactly what you read inside of the Arboreal Enigma's summary of the main character. You're- What are you saying, Glenn?
This was the person that Buddy here had no knowledge of, apparently, or had no information about. Wonder who she is.
That's probably the arcane enigma you're talking about.
Right, but why? What she did is so important that like that buddy here wouldn't have any information on, you know. But here she is, right in front of us.
So, yes, Genesis.
I don't know. I had something where I was trying to put together mortal and immortal people, but then I lost where I was going with that. I had a connection and then I lost it.
No problem. So, beyond these individuals, at the back of the room rests an artifact. It is a crystalline structure, a convergence of interwoven vines and crystallized energy. The the vines, though rigid and frozen, seem to carry an essence of vibrant life, as if the artifact itself is a harmonious blend of nature's energy and magical essence. The crystalline core pulses with a soft, rhythmic glow, casting ethereal shadows on the preserved figures. The artifact appears to be the epicenter of the enchantment that has preserved these experiments. Its purpose remains shrouded in mystery, and its presence evokes a sense of both wonder and trepidation. As your party takes in the scene, the room whispers begin to become physical. You hear these various voices escaping the room for the first time as quiet, daunting whispers in your ears. I need everybody in this room, aside from Glenn, to give me a charisma saving throw.
Don't forget you within 10 feet of me.
Yep, everybody gets a +5 from Bart. God, Bart, you're such a good support today.
I am. I'm a good boy. For once. It's because you stopped whispering in the back of
is this
my head
a-
about consuming people for power.
No,
Before
it'll
I
come
forget,
back.
is this any kind of charm
It'll
effect?
come back.
This is not a charm effect. No.
Okay. I'm gonna use lucky just to be on the safe side. Actually, no, I'm next to Bart. No, I'll be fine.
Yeah, you're at 26. How evil do you think I am?
I forgot about Bart.
I think I remembered my
listening.
thought.
Okay. In just one moment.
Okay, sorry.
Cornwallis, roll a charisma save, please. Yeah.
I'm great at these.
All right, go ahead,
Yay.
Genesis, with your thought. Since everyone saved other than Cornwallis.
Did you say that we heard voices coming out of the room towards the end?
When you entered inside, you begin to hear these voices escaping the room for the first time.
So is it possible that while they're in stasis, they're still like doing the work that they were doing before they went into stasis or something, and that's why they're in stasis in this room, is they're still doing whatever work they were doing?
The possibility is not... It's definitely a possibility, but it's not a direct and easy correlation to make immediately.
Okay.
But
okay.
with the voices of these 5 individuals beginning to echo out, most of you end up fortifying your minds as you hear them and have to cover and shroud your ears to all the various murmurs and whispers, problems and theories and ideas, wantings, needs happening. Most of you just allow it to course through and then exit. Cornwallis, however, you're left feeling incredibly uncomfortable through this experience, and it's making you a little nervous, these voices, and it's almost as if the voices are trying to connect to your mind and settle there, and there's nothing more terrifying to somebody who has traveled the astral sea than random voices entering into your mind and trying to control you. Glenn. Oh, Cornwallis, you're afraid. That's pretty much all it comes down to.
Yeah.
Glenn. You know what? The voices have never bothered you. You've heard them. They sit there, they rest there. They just persist.
There's a lot of room in here.
Yeah, this room's lovely. Can we go? Are we done? We opened it. Mission is solved.
Guys, everybody here's the 5 individuals. Do they look like they're still alive?
For as far as you can tell, yeah.
I mean, it looks like they're being kept for some, like, harvesting or transplant or something.
Right. So there's some purpose here. What do you make of all this, buddy? You're the one that really wanted to get in here, right?
You see the dog standing in the doorway looking in. Records on 4 of the individuals are, well, for all intents and purposes, already possessed by me. Though, I did not realize their physical forms are still persistent. Previous physical forms, that is. I will say, it is strange. Glenstrider told me that, well, all of their physical bodies were deconstructed in the process to transform them into the apes. But there are only 4 apes. Reasonable conclusion, one of them is me. Or what I used to be.
That means one of these are Solomon. Or not Solomon, what was the name of the gorilla? The Great Ice Chongo of the North?
Yeah, that's what you called him.
Winston.
Winston.
One of these are Winston, guys.
Well, I don't think that really adds up, though. Right? Wouldn't you be that last person that you don't know who it is?
That is a reasonable conclusion, yes.
Technically, you would be Eleanor.
Was Eleanor. Very strange concept.
What what can you make of this room? What is it doing?
That artifact was the one we utilized in the deconstruction of physical forms into what is now the Great Apes. It was the harnessing magical process needed to transform them. By the looks of it, this artifact is being empowered by the physical shells, the bodies that still live and persist, their lives being associated with it. Though there is no sign of consciousness or life within the bodies themselves, I believe what we are looking at is purely just shells. It appears I did lie to you earlier. There are shells in this facility.
Really coming out of it.
Is it possible to put them back in their shells?
From what has been expressed to me, at least 3 of them are already dead. The beings that they were transformed into.
Wait a minute. Wait, whoa, pause. So, if they died in the gorilla form, right, and we have their body,
The body
can
is
I
but
resurrect?
a
Right, their soul just barely moved on. Would I still be able to pull their souls out, in your humble opinion, to put back in their bodies?
shell. That depends on the artifact that is being fueled by them. If the bodies still maintain a tether, perhaps. But if they do not, more than likely they will not.
Looking at the artifact, what does it look like again? Sorry, I was away from my computer for a second.
You're good. Let me get back to the description of it.
It's like a crystal.
It is a crystalline structure, a convergence of interwoven vines and crystallized energy. The vines, though rigid and frozen, seem to carry an essence of vibrant life, as if the artifact itself is a harmonious blend of nature's energy and magical essence.
Okay. So it's like literally all these vines and stuff are hooked up to it, and it's almost like a siphon looking thing, just like things are collabed into this crystal.
Yeah, that's a decent
Is-
description.
This crystalline structure.
I mean, is it essentially like a heart and veins, like just to kind of?
That is a very
Like-
apt description, yes.
Okay.
I didn't want to make it that clear to you all, but yes.
I'm sorry.
If you guys figure it out, it's fine. I don't say it so you guys don't figure it out.
Okay.
I like making y'all work for it.
A heart of the tree.
How dare you?
Okay.
I hate to like oversimplify. I just need to put it in a way that I
No,
would
you-
understand.
That's it.
That makes sense. That helped me too. I appreciate that. What if we unplug you?
Plug it back in.
Well, no, like just we unplug it, right? Like, because I'm under the
Playing with the
impression that
extension cord on the life support system.
well, the thing is that this area, this whole facility, is a pocket dimension, right? So because that's the whole reason why I couldn't just teleport into the tree when Glenn was taken.
Wait a minute. We were told not to open another pocket dimension in a pocket dimension. What if we just do that?
No,
That will thunder the
No.
reality and send us possibly to the Astro Seas. Half of us, like, in half. The other half
I
will
don't
stay
even think
here.
they clarify which.
But I mean,
pocket
they're
of
not
reality
supposed.
we end up in.
Okay.
Right.
I was just saying they are not supposed to lie, and they've lied to us. So I'm just saying maybe they lied
They-
about that.
Don't. Well, okay, so I take everything I say with a grain of salt. What they said was that they don't intend to lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're given the truth based on what the
Yeah.
information that they're provided that they know.
So, would we get spit out the tree if we unplug it?
Well, I think there are some experimentations to get going on. Luckily, we still have one of the apes alive, right? So
Yeah.
we can play around with that in this guy. But I think the most important question here would be for Buddy. Well, no, I'm sorry, Ellen. Do you want to see what would happen? Do you want to go back into your shell?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I view a body as a limiting factor.
You'd be living.
By whom's definition?
You'd be breathing, which you'd be alive.
Allow me to explain myself a little further. After living as what all of you would consider a greater being, nearly godlike powers, full control over its own domain for so long, reverting into such a limiting state would not be comfortable for me.
Okay. Well, what if we took we unplugged the bodies, right? Like, what if we took a body off one of these tables?
I am unsure what would happen. This
Right.
artifact is enigmatic.
So I think that does beg an experimentation to see, because I believe that you, Eleanor, are important to this tree so that you can keep out unwanting people. And
Mhm.
this is a very, let's say, like a big part of your security system. Then, so I think it would be important for us to know that if something did happen to your shell, if it correlates to you, then we would want to keep this extra protected. But if this doesn't do anything, then what are we looking at for the true purpose of the device here then, right?
Very true. I would request that you all transport the physical shells as well as the artifact outside of this chamber, so that when the door closes in brief moments, I will be able to conduct my own experiments and investigation.
Do you want us to pull the artifact out the wall?
It's not in the wall, it's just hovering there.
Or hovering over the walls? Or hovering there? You want us to pull that out? That's what
Yes,
because you
bring all of it out so I can conduct my investigation.
Can you guarantee our safety on the way out the door so the walls don't crush us to death?
I cannot.
he can't
Oh.
he can't control this section
Yeah.
of the
Yes.
Oh.
He can't manipulate this at all.
My
Okay.
apologies.
Which one's Winston of the bodies?
He points at one of them, a elven man who seems to have silver hair cascading down to his shoulders, framing a face marked by the passage of time and the wear of intellectual pursuits. His sharp elven features are softened by a singular thread of hair that seems to just drift down ever so slightly above the eye. That
Okay.
one.
Okay, well, we have to pick up the bodies anyways. Let's see what happens when we remove one. I'm gonna walk to the table and look around. Oh, did you say something, Genesis?
No. I'm fine. I'm good.
I'm heading closer to the door.
Yeah, everyone want to get ready, right? The GTFO.
Cornwallis just can't wait to get out of here.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm ready to go. Been ready.
yeah, get ready to go through the door in case something happens. Someone should probably grab the artifact. Glenn, you're the fastest one, so let's try to in tandem get them at the same time in case something happens.
All right.
Did you want to do that, Glenn?
Yeah,
You're the smart one here.
No. This all plans out, I think, pretty well. Let's give it a go.
Sure, I grab Winston.
Okay.
Hoping nothing happens. Taking him off the table.
Moving the body. It seems weightless in nature. And as you begin to pull it, you notice that the threads of light straining from the artifact to it becomes brighter and brighter, as if there's tension being had that you can't see. Samdi, thanks to your eyes right now, you can see that the artifact tying to these individuals has very limited space that it can be before you attempt to break the thread itself connecting them. And it seems to become more charged in magic. If you don't move all of them at the same time, well, you'll unplug one.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
only if
we-
Samdi tells you.
Yeah. Seems easy.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll tell them before they explode everything.
Okay, so we got 5 bodies and an artifact to move. And we got to move them simultaneously. We got enough bodies, right? 1, 2, 3.
There's 6 of
There
you.
are 6 of us.
Only if Cornwallis joins.
Yeah, so Cornwallis, we need you. We need you in on participation here, buddy. Suck it up.
You need me to carry one of them?
Yes.
I take whichever one's closest to the door.
You might be able to carry 2 of them.
I probably could carry multiples, actually. But
You definitely could. The one closest to the door, you immediately walk over and you pick up. Which one would that be? Eleanor. And start walking out. Everyone else, you pick up one. Who's picking up the artifact?
I'll pick up the artifact.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody grabbing a body and starting to move outside of the hallway and corridor. You make your way over towards it, and as you are crossing that threshold, Samdi, you see the threads are starting to come back much more quickly now.
I'll say book it and I'll start running.
Okay. Everyone else can easily keep up with the pace of Samdi as you exit out of the corridor and up the stairs.
Hey, I'm just as fast as most normal people.
Exactly. That's why I said they can keep up. As soon as you climb up the stairs, up into that other higher room, you hear the slinking of that wall. Shink. Collapsing and closing. You wait. And there doesn't seem to be any immediate threat. Curious. What is this new sensation I am feeling?
Given it self-awareness.
I mean, the fact that you're kind of staring at your own body, you know. I mean, that would do something to somebody.
I want someone to hurt. That is new.
not loving the fact that I'm carrying that thing's body.
Wait, like
Want someone to hurt that is new?
No.
no, it's a new.
I want
feeling.
someone to hurt, period. That's new.
Like, wait, you talking about like vengeance? You feeling vengeful or something?
I feel like if somebody else suffered, I would feel better.
That's not a good feeling.
Okay.
What is it?
Wrathful, right? But there's a reason you're feeling that. Like, what triggered that feeling? Was it seeing your body? Was it being betrayed by, and having this information withheld? Like, there's multiple things that can cause that feeling.
I believe this comes from a place of betrayal that is strange. What do you
Well-
do when you feel wrathful?
I mean, I take it out on the people that deserve it, the people that caused it usually, or plotting for a long period of time usually.
This seems tedious.
When you have a long life period, is it?
I mean, in my experience, when someone does something wrong to you, you kind of confront them and ask for the reasoning behind that. And if it doesn't satisfy, if the answer doesn't satisfy you, then you have to resolve the confrontation in other ways, sometimes physically.
Correct.
I don't think we should be advising this entity on violent conflict resolution strategies.
Yeah, I feel like we're the worst people because my goal is, betray me. Eventually, at some point, rip out their heart. So,
Rip
the other
out
way-
their heart.
And the other way is to, after you, the goal of that, obviously, of the the whole experience is to eventually come to an understanding so that it won't happen again. And if you can't, then you try to avoid each other.
Huh. Perhaps a conversation with Glenn Strider would satiate this feeling. And if not, I suppose I can craft a mechanism to rip out his heart.
Right.
Quite easy,
I dig
actually.
it.
And you see right behind you materializes a Marut, but instead of a typical Marut, it has a pincer, like 3-pronged clawed hand.
Huh.
That should suffice.
Yeah. It's okay to feel what you're feeling, right? You can feel hurt, you can feel betrayed, right? And that's okay. But just be careful who you're pointing the smoking gun at.
And you know, there's no one saying that you can't just bottle it up and take up a new hobby. You know, like whittling is
Yeah, that-
always good.
Is
Yeah,
that a
sounds like
typical
extremely helpful.
mortal response, is to bottle up your feelings?
Yes, that is actually the most common solution for this. Maybe you should teach the Maruts to interpretive dance your feelings as opposed to violence.
Yes,
Oh,
art
so
is an
shit at this.
I'm so
No,
shocked.
art is an excellent form of expression. It really is a great outlet.
I'm really
Genesis, I
hoping he's
need
not
you to
reading
roll
our
a
minds.
persuasion roll. Bart's helping you, so you have advantage.
Oh, shit. Oh, I really wish it was the other way around. But yep, taking your advantage.
Let's go, Genesis.
Actually, you're a balk as well. You got mad charisma. You'll be fine.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Hopefully.
You have me, you'll be fine. You gotta reroll.
At least one more today.
I have one more.
Hey!
Hey!
Natural 20. About as good as anybody could expect. I suppose I will experiment with this for some time before seeking any other recourse or response. I am grateful towards all of you for your clarity on these confusing moments that pass for me. Given enough time, I should revert back to my prior state, without these burdensome emotions.
Why would you want to get rid of them? You just experienced them.
As I stated, burdensome.
Okay. Is there a way that we can have from knowing all the knowledge that's here, right? Is there anything similar to this project in any of your archives? And if so, is there a way we can replace the body with something else? Like an item, a magic.
Records that would be associated with that have been struck in and removed from this archive. That is also upsetting to me. He has been playing this for some time. I wonder if he has a good reason or not.
You know, if you could point us into general directions of where Glenn Strider visits often, maybe we could ask him for you. You go out there and venture out, because you know, otherwise you're just kind of stuck here waiting for him to come back right now, right?
Why, yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
And once you find that information, I can send you a sending so you receive it and you'll know your answer.
Very well. Two of the locations that Glenn Strider frequents very often, one of which is this facility. Quite obviously, he and I have conducted quite a few experiments over the age or so that he has been here. Outside of that, there's also the enchantment school that you previously outlined. There's portions of it that he has been in, out, and around only a few fleeting moments at a time. Let's bring you all over to the global map. Boop, boop.
Global map.
Not the global. This means we'll have to go places.
I know, it's horrible. Alright, so where is... Here it is. The third location is north of here. Not terribly far, though. There is what I believe might be a location that he frequents to conduct his own personal researches, independent of others. A tower of sorts resides there that he manipulates and researches. It is hidden away from the public's eye, and the animals around the area are incredibly dangerous to physical beings.
That's where that cult was last seen too. After they left the tree.
Yeah.
The next known whereabouts of where he is frequently going off to is the Nine Hells.
Why? That facility got destroyed.
I do not know.
Oh, why are we going to have to go on a merry wild goose chase?
Okay, so between going north and going to the Nine Hells, right? My possible child is possibly north of us. So I say we should go to the Nine Hells, so that way I could avoid that interaction.
There's back child support. It's a whole story.
I don't even know what this kid's name is. I don't even know what this kid looks like. I just know they have my eyes. And her mom.
You at least know her mom.
I know her mom.
That's good of you.
I would
forget.
hope so.
Does Sandy still have business to conduct in Nine Hells?
I have business to conduct in the Nine Hells.
So, I guess I
We
could...
kind of need to stop at casino first.
Okay.
Yeah, we got like 6 more months in that contract. So we should probably knock that out soon.
Yeah, so if we're done here, who wants to go to the desert? Carnwaz, I know a very good watering hole.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the desert here yet. Sounds like a good place.
You know, yeah, it would be nice to go back to the casino.
Excuse me, I'm gonna walk over to. I think, no, Reese has it. Gonna need that hat back. I
Oh,
know
yeah,
it's
yeah.
technically Glenn's, but
I'm not attuned to it right now,
Yeah.
so yeah, go for it. Because I had to do the sword.
dust
I'm-
off the hat.
Out of my own curiosity, could either you Reese or you Samdi just try to knock on the mind of Eleanor over here? Not the construct Eleanor, the shell Eleanor.
like jump into their thoughts.
Just see if there's anything there, I guess.
I
Who knows?
attempt to connect to the empty corpse.
You connect,
Oh shit!
and there is nothing there.
Okay.
Oh,
Nothing at all.
Just
Yeah,
out of
it's brain
curiosity.
dead.
Just out of curiosity.
Okay.
No offense, and I look over at Construct Eleanor.
None taken. And
Buddy. Right. I had a quick question before anything.
okay.
Right. We're probably gonna be leaving soon. Would I have your permission, right? In case I wanted, we already have a sending. If I sent you a sending that I wanted to teleport here with the teleportation spell to talk, chat, right? Would I have that permission with if I communicate, preemptively to teleport into this place?
Well, would you need teleport or plane shift is the question, right?
I think he's gonna allow me in.
You can teleport outside of the facility and enter in if it is necessary, of course.
Mhm.
But you would require a plane shift to come directly here from your plane.
Okay, so it
Figured.
is okay. Cool. So I was like, maybe he's just like a Mordekainen, sanctum where he's gonna allow you in. Okay, that works.
I was thinking
I
it was just
appreciate
like an advanced demi-plane or something.
Yeah, it made sense actually now that you say it. Omnipotent being in this whole facility, he turned off her magic. That makes sense. Okay.
So, all good?
Yes.
Then, everybody, when we come back next week, we are returning to Casino.
Whoop, whoop.
Players, thank you all very much for playing. Viewers, thank you for watching. Hope you all had a fantastic time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.